So I'm walking through, waking up, work, looking at things I look at, that I make, things I do, in my design, in my time, because this is what I do. Now, I have multiple apartments broken into, whether art or no art, multiple apartments broken into. For whatever reason, connect four. Connectivity to either see significant others or to process the thinking process of creativity. So that's why we call it Connect Four. That is our identification. As of today, they've stolen my ID 3 times in this state, no, 2 times in this state, 3 times in the empty. And 5 ID thefts. I did it at the other state. They didn't literally grab a wallet to grab a wallet. They used each one that is forced to move, like they sold the or near the lead. They copied the ID for each place he was looking for a place. So it was ID copies as a doppelganger running a lead game. But he used linearity and emasculation to run the trial of the lead game. That's biblical. We're not supposed to do that. It's, bring that same racism to it, and that's it. Let's see. Now, you can see it on some videos, some videos, lighting, right in person. I reported it to the Munhall police in Munhall, Pennsylvania. Came out here and reported it out here too that it happened in Munhall, and I didn't realize that this is in their jurisdiction at the point. For 2 year, whole year is Munhall. For a whole year. So that seemed to go with the COVID thing as tax time. Everything was, I couldn't get my unemployment. I replaced Steel Cactus 2019. I believe it was a beverage company that was working with Steel Cactus that had my body on lock and key. So everything is in taxes and everything is in employment. Like Vietnam, employable and unemployable. Working the same thing probably because I'm Asian. So I was born in 75 after the war. I mean 77 2 years after the war that ended in 75. Production Key, Matt Quest, has digitally mapped me out in like minor key, meaning production key as like what we are in our bodies, but they digitally honed into me by brain and system to hone onto my system. It's not an impossible thing. It's very possible. Magnets and radio frequency. They've tempted the body a couple times. I now know that's what it means to tempt the Lord, to use the star within or the body temperatures and try to hurt the inside of the man for his manhood or something. So you're not supposed to do that if no one's evil, if no one's doing anything. You just don't hurt somebody. They've been playing a game with me for about 8 years, attacking the libido and body of myself. I don't know why. I've gone on to one place. I had to leave my city and my wife because no one will do anything. I went to the Pittsburgh police twice. I went to the Munhall police. No one will do anything. My first arrest was in Dormont. Officer Jim Burke was the first officer that arrested me. The game, I'm not saying that it's that officer, but I'm saying that the game that is being played was using with the original arrest and religious names. So I have a third-party religion linked to universities using the arrests for education and employment purposes. So then, as whoever's using CB, whether it's truckers, an airline, they're using everything in between from the first arrest to comparing your dad's life and to your life and other celebrities' lives. Just playing a multiple game like 3-card Monte or a Ponzi scheme with employment and education of my whole life, but it's basically a private Vietnam game. Man, it's dangerous. It has to end. Realty and banks are the ones that have been doing it with either law or fire department in between. It's all technology of what they can see, heat up a room, a tented room, and then lie about with hearsay in the air, watching what you do in the street. I'm not the one to do that to. So go pick other people to do it to that may not know what you're doing. Now, I volunteer at Zuckerberg Hospital. Zuckerberg's also the guy that owns Facebook, one of the owners and stockholders and creators of Facebook. Has the same last name. It's also a name linking to Jewish history, I believe. Not 100% sure. The guy seems like a nice guy. I never met him. I hear he's from this area, but some people have used that name to cover one thing in the air while they're saying one thing to play a game with me no matter what, which I think it's just people coming in after they see contracts and words in contract, they're coming in here anyways. They were getting imagery. They recommended me to the hospitality house the first month of out of being homeless. I went there for a month or two, and that's about it. They had a couple artists come in, but I already had training, so I just did a Ryu art and didn't talk to nobody. Other than, trying to get some stuff typed. But they wouldn't let me use the logo on anything. And if I can't use my LLC logo, then why am I I'm not gonna do that. So that happened with that. That's what that was. Maybe I could rework and get a gallery window, but if I wanted a gallery window, I want my name, my picture, and my logo and symbol under everything. And it didn't seem like that was going to happen. So I don't like people trying to hide and displace talent or cover one thing with another. I've been real my whole life. I've been drawing since 4. So I'm not fake. I got people playing with the mind and using devices. I'm trying to, whether it's FBI, Federal Bureau of Investigations. I came here, I went in here to talk to them. They said all their agents are in the field, that there's nobody there. Which is fine. That's fine. At some point, Homeland Security, I hope to reach out to me, or the Federal Bureau of Investigation, at some point. Uh, Steve is a name being used in the airplay, so I put that in music. Who is Chris and who is Steve? Chris seems to be a name, and Steve and Chris Robinson were the names used in my father's case. When I was like 7 years old and 3 years old. 3 years old, 7 years old. They kept playing the Ringling Brothers game around Sam. That's my father's name, Sam. So they tried to give the sins of the father to the son and make the curses a generational curses. That's not what that actually is. So they were using the law to make their own generational curses. It's a third-party religion. I'm trying to get all of them away from me and any other religion. The star light hits me in about 2003, 2004. 9/11 happens in 2001. So the towers drop in 2001, and I don't know if it affirms to publications out there, and they're all about time sequence, time oriented to what you can do to displace time and create a new time. So in creating time and hiding time, what is being done? What is being done? So I didn't live like addicts. Every place from 604 to 750 to Brentwood, all the way to McKees Rocks, all clean places, all clean places. So I need to see what they're doing here and what the record says. I've asked if I can see my personal file. She has said she can't show it to me. With multiple break-ins and the police not doing anything in Pittsburgh, I want to see the record. I want to see what's said about me here. I want to see what it says. I want to know. 5 Keys is where I'm at when I'm homeless. My foot is stuck with a 3-prong mark. Somebody has a blood sport game playing, saying, yeah, it's just a spider bite. I can hear that in there. Next time it'll be HIV. So someone's coming at me in the ear really bad with a blood sport play. So I end up going to get a test just in case, because when someone pierces the foot, you don't know what the fuck's going on. I go in there, I tell a clinic that's why it happens. I was scared for 7 months, not knowing what's going on. And when I started to not feel well, when we went to go get a test, they said, you're fine. No problems like that. Okay, well, thank God. But at the same time, all that's happening to me is just too much. And it happened to me as a little tiny child here. So whether it's a religion that is going for a supreme order, as they have an empowerment movement and ran in between diversity, hidden by bot diversity, which can be a university if you know, diversity can be for sale. It shouldn't be, but it can be. I mean, people, got in-house, out-house all the time. So no matter what race it is, anyone can sell out their belief or their whole people. I'm not that person. I believe the spiritual realm links to each race. At some point in time, there was lust or love or trade or war and peacekeeping agreements at some point in time between each race, each land, and what that is. So this is what I'm really going through in real life. This is not an Ariosphere play or, just for the art. It's notion of what I'm going through in real life. So the first arresting officer was Jim Burke. It was over marijuana and disorderly conduct of, I had a friend named Paul Work that worked with me at Shop and Save. And I stayed at a place called the Fred Meagher Building on 1401 Mervyn Avenue, Pittsburgh, PA. The borough is called Dormont. So that's where I lived at that point in time. Now, the last reports that I gave into before they come, I gave it to the Munhall Police. An officer came in, he looked at the throat, and insisted, you must have a tracheotomy. tried to tell him I didn't have a tracheotomy. I think I said I didn't have a tracheotomy. He walked in the room, goes into the room, looks at the studio equipment. The only thing he asks is this all your equipment? And he's got his hand like this, right here on him. He's like, is this all your equipment? I said, yeah. And he said, okay. I'll chalk it up, I'll write it up that you cleaned up the mess. Your place was vandalized. It looks like no big deal. We'll write it up. And then he leaves. He was with another female officer. Now, I don't know if that's John and Lacey when I'm hearing the airplay of John and Lacey. Now, I don't know who Palando is. Now, when I was arrested by Jared Ruffin. But I don't know who fucking Palando is. So all these names are coming in the ear, but I don't know any of these people. I don't know who John is. I don't know who Lacey is. I don't know who Palando is. So all that's happening, but this is in a Campbell's soup war. So there was only one arrest, but that was UPMC, a warrant for, I guess, me turning in CBD. I had a Fade MD card, so this marijuana trial is not funny, because that's the whole Rome trial, but y'all built New Rome from Space Ghost, Coast to Coast, not the cartoon, system, and West City and East City, Space Ghost, Coast to Coast. So you got the Digi-Wall and the Digi-Bop. Man, I ain't do shit to nobody. I've been attacked enough times out here. I see you can gang mob anybody, whether it's a charter school, a university, or a religion, all at one time and do anything at once. You can time sequence anything. You can clean the city up in a matter of 48 hours, have it look just like, almost as clean as Pittsburgh, and you got 3 times the people, probably, if you count all the immigration that I don't see. So this is comparing the two cities. One's only 400,000 people, and the revenue of UPMC is the major revenue turn in, and that's the deal with healthcare and the university. But at the same time, you got 4 other schools that are major schools. So if you only have 400 to 500,000, and your revenue of the schools makes the same amount of people, then you're never going to be asked out, really, as long as you got them coming into that school still. And the place isn't overpopulated. So knowing that, they keep it like that, and they're able to run it. It's not a bad place. You just got to weed out things. There needs a little more real diversity in the culture, and know what real spirituality is, and then that would be a little better. Here, you have some people that were spiritual, but I believe over the course of, since the gold rush, money talks. They'll break people down anywhere that they can, and break them down anywhere they can. It's a prospector town. There's a lot of alcohol here, and there's a lot of drugs. It's a port town. Drugs come in from ports. So, and then they hit the streets, and then between some religions, resurface and re-put them on streets. It's okay. I'm not here to judge that or judge anything. I'm just trying to survive, make art and music, and meet people at a course of time. That hasn't happened because everyone has played some type of game with me. I'm on welfare right now. There was supposed to be a discontinuance, but it had to be recontinued. They decided to have a little play about hours and stuff, and I could hear he should be sick. Then I was sick. I actually only missed 2 days. I make up all the days and try to turn in my hours. I don't get January's pay. Now I'm missing 2 days into this month, but each time he didn't give in the gift card, and there was something said. So when you're strapped, I only got like literally $35 in the bank, no food stamps right now. So when you're busting your ass for cap and they don't want to give you the gift cards and you need to eat, it is what it is. Nobody can run life like this. Nobody can be stuck like this. But it is what it is. Hallelujah. Praise God.